a few people have already asked me, like, why did you build Cybooks? What, motivated you to build it? And basically, it all started as a side project, like about 10 years ago. And when I started, developing, well, actually, it was more like, I think 15 years ago. I can't even remember exactly. But in my opinion, one of the best ways to learn programming language is to build a real world side project. And one of my first side projects was, a small, let's say, accounting software. Um, However, that project never got finished. So it was just a starting point, and yeah. And so this is a really short backstory. And then when I moved to Cyprus like 5 years ago, and by the way, coming from Germany, and we have opened a company here, I asked my accountant, like, okay, which bookkeeping or accounting software can we use here as a company? And to my surprise, there was basically nothing available. And in Germany, almost every company has, a bookkeeping or accounting software. And the financial authorities, they are like super strict, and the accountants are like meticulous. And yeah, so here in Cyprus, it's quite normal for people to, bring their accountant, paper bag full of receipts like every 3 months or whatever. And really imagine, like, you're bringing, like, I don't know, like 200 receipts in a paper bag to the account, and then the account needs to type in everything manually in their system. So in Germany, this would be like unheard of, right? There are almost every company uses a bookkeeping software to, manage their data, manage their financials. And for example, in Germany, companies often, then export this data that they have in their bookkeeping software to Datev. And Datev is a widely used software for accountants and businesses. And accountants can then import all the data directly into their system, which is based on Datev. So you have your bookkeeping software, you export the data in this Datev format, and then the accountant is able to import all this data from the bookkeeping software into their system. So there's no need for someone to manually input paper receipts into an accounting system, kind of like. And I was shocked that there was, no proper solution available here in Cyprus. Although there are a few software options on the market, but most are tailored for accountants and not for regular businesses like ours. And as business owners, I think we want to connect our bank account, track the profits, the expenses, and and have an overview of our suppliers or vendors, how much we have paid, and how much we owe. And that's what accounting software should do. But there wasn't anything suitable. What's the word in English? Suitable here in Cyprus. And obviously, yes, you can use big name softwares like QuickBooks, FreshBooks. What else is on the market? Like tons of software. Xero, for example, right, is also a pretty big software. However, these solutions may cover I don't know, let's say maybe only 70% of the use cases, right? Every country has its own policies and laws and, regarding accounting, and the remaining, let's say 20-30% of, specific requirements, for example, such as the VAT returns or the payroll, are often not supported then, right? So you can use QuickBooks, yes, but QuickBooks won't support, for example, the payroll here in Cyprus. They won't support the VAT report here in Cyprus. And I think big companies like QuickBooks, for example, or Xero or whatever, they don't, bother tailoring their solutions to small markets like Cyprus. We have only 1 million citizens and around 250,000 maybe registered companies, of which perhaps maybe let's call it 150,000 are active. And another issue is that these big big name software options often don't integrate with local banks, right? So separate banks were, at least at the time, still kind of like in the stone age when it came to APIs and digital connections. So we decided to build a solution specifically for local businesses, and that's how Cybooks was basically born. And I know that not every company in Cyprus wants or need an accounting software, but I think many small supermarkets, for example, just hand everything to their accountant and they don't care, right? I've heard this a lot. Hey, why should I use an accounting software? My account is doing everything. But I believe that there are many businesses that do want to have insights, like how much profit they made last month, how it compares to the previous month, how much they owe suppliers, what's the cash flow, what's the cash flow protection maybe, so these insights. And that's basically where Cybooks comes in. And we aim to improve our reporting, billing, and also other features. And building an accounting software is incredibly complex, let's say, especially if you've never done it before. It's not just about creating invoices and adding customers. You have to deal with the ledger, with journal entries, double entry bookkeeping, charts of accounts, and VAT calculations under specific conditions. There are countless moving parts, and through this process, I've learned a lot about bookkeeping and accounting. And in fact, I even signed up for, I don't know if you can see it, but I even signed up for a college degree in accounting to there's a deepen my understanding of accounting or bookkeeping. And our goal with Cybooks is to digitize. I can't spell this word. Digitize. Accounting / let's say bookkeeping for Cyprus. Of course, some accountants and businesses, are happy with their, current solution, and that's totally fine. But I think there's a lot of room for innovation here. For example, the Cypriot government has made significant strides with the new tax form portal, which I think is a great example of, I can't spell this word, digitization. I think you know what I mean. I just can't spell it. And building something like that must be incredibly complex, with unstructured data from various systems and all this stuff. But I believe they're doing an excellent job with it at the moment.